Excellent.
Make a booty go.
You know what to do.
With that big fat butt.
Thank you.
So, how about this cold open?
Oh yeah. Do you want me to go with the one you wanted?
Yes. So, this is something I said about 3 years ago.
No.
Uh-oh.
Dude.
When did I say that?
You said it like a year ago.
Oh, bro.
If anything.
I said it a year ago, and I had no idea that Sky had made note of it. And so we're going to read this quote, and then we're going to discuss.
So, Ketzel goes, the idea of claiming a horse is anti-God. Thoughts?
The idea of claiming
Anti-God?
a horse is anti-God.
Anti-Mother Nature, maybe.
Why is horse God?
Like, no one should have...
Debate.
And no one should... Are you saying that no one should claim a horse?
Yes.
Because they're meant to roam free.
Yes.
Do people claim dogs in your
But
scenario?
horses are number one of God's creatures.
What's your source?
Me. Coincidentally, me.
We're always our worst sources of information, unless you're me.
Oh, interesting. That's so interesting.
But
that everyone's the worst except for my sweet boy, number one Wikipedia.
But why?
I was there when I was there when it was written.
Dark magic was written.
Tell me, why is the horse God's right-hand man?
Have you seen him? A horse?
I suppose, but I
Have
don't.
you touched a horse?
I sure have.
They're great, huh?
I
so
guess.
I'm freshly horsed,
Oh, I saw the pictures. They were sent to me.
which we'll put on Instagram because I'm very proud of
Freshly,
them.
just filled with that horseamine.
Good.
It's like do you think that they should just be? They're born free.
They're born free, and the idea. So the thing is, like, Sky's mother owns a horse, and when Sky told me that, I'm like, one does not own a horse. You might like be around it, but you can't own a horse. No one owns a horse.
I still need to know what's your thought process on dogs and cats and owning them, because
Yeah.
if animals are not owned,
I said horses. Did I say
Specifically?
anything about anything else?
no, but
It's just
for
saying
my
that.
context and my debate, I need to know where your thought processes are on
Right,
dogs and
'cause
cats.
If horses
What about
cannot
what?
be
About claiming
domesticated,
them? Yeah,
Yeah.
you can claim them.
well, the thing is,
Horses are also domesticated, just like dogs and cats, and therefore
Horses
can be claimed.
are
it
meant
kind
to
of
be
opens
free.
the conversation of like, well, if a horse can't be domesticated, what else should not?
If
be?
there's one thing that we have falsely believed we've domesticated, it's cats.
Your cat is a good example
I got
of
a
that.
tiny murderess in my house.
So your cat goes belly up in any given moment, and that seems pretty damn domesticated to me.
Truly, but yet somehow does not listen.
Hey! But a horse can also go belly up.
Yeah, I saw it. It was pretty great. But what I mean is, have you seen a fucking horse? You can't claim a horse.
I think that
They
horses,
rode into battle with us.
I think
Who else
So
rode
did
into battle with us?
Elephants.
I'll defend.
And they're great too. You know what?
You shouldn't claim
Claiming
elephants.
an elephant is also anti-God. I would put horse and elephant together.
All around
Anti-life.
me are familiar.
Humans
I
are the
would-
anti-life equation.
I accept that like horses were taken from their native lands and like taken to fucking like I don't think they were in England, right? They were like roaming free in the northern continent, weren't they?
Spain, I think.
Yeah, they're from Europe.
Europe?
Europe.
Okay. Well, like
Did
that shit's fucking
did the Americans
wild.
have horses?
From my understanding, because, and this is, I think,
You know
the
what? I'm
story.
stupid. Okay, so they were definitely in France because the Lascaux caves have depictions of horses.
Of horses. Okay,
Also-
but also there was a lot of horses running free here, and you know they colonized like Mexico and other like southern regions of the North.
I think based
America.
off of the fact that we have breeds for
So they
horses,
brought 'em.
they can be claimed.
And they got free and feral, and then we domesticated them again, taking away from their lands. I mean, I've seen those dodo videos, okay? Where they're like, I know him, he's Blue Steel or whatever. Like,
Blue Steel.
I just wanted him to be free because he
Never
got
seen Blue Steel.
captured, and I wanted to reunite him with his family. But, like, I don't know, dude. It seems like a bit of a slippery slope to be like horses can't be domesticated.
I definitely
agree that the
think-
wild horses that are right now, as with no owners, leave them. Let them live.
Oh yeah, wild stallions. Yeah,
Yes.
by all means. Like, Cimarron. What is it? Oh shit. Spirit of the Cimarron.
It's
Spirit
Stallion of the
Cimarron. Thank you.
Cute. I don't know how you know that.
Thank you.
I saw that movie once. I don't know why
It's
I
a
know that
lot.
title.
It's a lot to intake, and if if you gravitated and like you really resonated with that so much, you'd definitely be on Q's side for that movie. But me, I'm like, I think with breeding and how we have different types of horses that are
Pick
specifically
any
made.
horse. I don't care where it came from. Also, apparently, we did have ancient wild horses in the Americas, but they became extinct and were not reintroduced until later by Europe. And I also know that because when Hernan Cortez came to colonize our ancestors, they were like, "What the fuck is that?" That's what they thought he was. They thought he was Quetzalcoatl come back to them. I guess
You're riding on an animal. It's like we ride these all the time in Europe.
Yep.
I'm from España.
España.
No, I don't agree. Period.
I do not agree.
But you guys don't feel the same way about horses, so.
I think horses should be free, but there are those horses that are bred, and they like. You've watched the dodo videos, like people like taking care of horses with their giant hooves, and it requires,
All I'm saying is you can have the horse, but that horse does not belong to you intrinsically.
This is like strawman theory.
Well, that's what like people do, right?
This is strawman theory, guys.
They break the horses. Like that's what it is. Like you break the horses.
Casey Musgrave said, "When a horse want to run, there ain't no use in closing the gate." So any horse, no matter how broken, if it's want to run, it's gonna run, because nothing can claim a horse. Casey Musgraves.
All right, I think I've had enough of this conversation.
I will say
What
on the
a
last
boring.
bit. On the last bit here, Quetzal, though, a horse does have to trust you. A horse must trust you for you to do anything with the horse, palling around or of ownership or not, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
So like
That's just a mutual, respectful friendship. You don't. I don't claim
You
Sky from our
cannot-
mutual friendship, right, Sky?
you cannot befriend and expect
I
like
definitely
immediate
stopped claiming you at a
companionship.
certain point.
You were like, I let you roam free, but you just never went anywhere.
I keep coming back.
I mean, it's unlike a dog or cat, though. Like, you take it home from the shelter or wherever you found it, and they are like, "You're my best friend." But a horse does not do that. The horse has to trust you before you can really be friends with it. So I guess, in a way, you can't. You have to be good friends with the horse.
You're only
You have to be
partners with
godly.
the horse. Is this like some Dinotopia stuff where the horse has to choose you?
Your only contribution. I love Dinotopia.
Yeah, I've been checked out of this whole conversation.
Dinotopia
As
brought you
soon as
back.
I said the quote, and then I was like,
she did bring it up yesterday, and I'm like, perfect, bring it
The
up. bring it up.
wee music. Dun dun dun
Dun,
dun
dun,
dun
dun,
dun
dun,
dun
dun.
dun. Bum, bum, bum. Hey y'all, welcome to Sit Down Loser. We're watching a movie. My name's Dahlia.
I'm Sky.
I'm Antonio.
And I'm Quetzal.
And we're just four disconnected wall phones who watch movies that everyone else has watched, except one of us is a loser who hasn't. Today we're watching a movie that shows why you should absolutely not trust magicians under any circumstances ever. Ever. The Black Phone. Released today, June 24th, 2022, directed by Scott Derrickson. And today's loser is all of us.
Everyone!
Because it just came out.
It just came out today. We never do this. Look at us.
Yeah.
Being on top of things. But look, this is us talking in the time machine. We did it the day of, but here you are listening to it at a later time. Hi, how are you?
Absolutely.
Bonjour.
Sar. Why do we pick this?
Blumhouse, baby.
Yeah. Daddy Blum. Call us.
So y'all just love riding that, don't you?
Jason Plum. Oh my god, that's Jason Plum.
I gotta sit on that.
Do you know that one?
No.
I love that. Oh my god, it's Jason Bourne. So funny.
My God.
And Scott Derrickson directed Sinister and Doctor Strange.
I didn't know that.
We love Sinister.
The
in this
first
household.
Doctor
I do like the first Sinister because
Well, yeah,
I
that's
just will
why
never forget
Eton
it.
is back.
What about
You
the
mean
second
Eton
Sinister?
and Jam?
Eton?
You said you really liked the first Sinister. What about the second Sinister?
We don't talk about Brune. No, I watched it. Was that not enough?
So you read the short story?
Yes, I did.
Okay. It is
Yeah.
based on that, is what you have as your second point for why we chose this.
Yep, it's based on a short story by Joe Hill, who is Stephen King's son.
Whoa!
He also
And he
wrote,
also writes things.
he wrote Horns.
Nope.
He wrote
With Daniel Radcliffe?
yeah.
Ah.
the book the movie is based on.
Daniel Radcliffe wrote a book too, guys.
And then I guess
No.
there's another. It's a show on something, I can't remember what it is, called Nosferatu. With
Nosferatu?
this
Oh, that's the
Zachary Quinto.
Zachary
I love
Quinto,
Quinto.
and like the cover is a car, and like the license plate is Nosferatu.
Yeah, so that's
Cute.
also a book he wrote. But this is just another one. This was a short story in a collection of many stories
I just think
that I
it's
have not gotten to yet.
I just think it's funny that you wrote this down, and I will say this to you guys watching and listening, that you wrote in parentheses, Stephen King Spawn!
Yes.
Which is a very polite way of saying
Hill of the
child.
King.
His son, but like, no, his Spawn.
Yeah.
Cute.
It was a good short story.
I want to say the third
excited.
point, because I already
You-
had said it.
you go for
I
it.
jumped the gun and without even reading it, but Ethan and Jam are here. And if
We're here
you
in the
re-
studio today.
Come on out, boys!
Can you imagine?
Power
power.
couple.
Yes, the power
and then
couple.
this is a quote from Ketzel, if any of you all want to read it.
No.
Ethan pounding his acting pussy against the pavement.
Ethan's gonna give us one. I almost said 1-800. Gonna give
We're
us
gonna
one.
eat, and we're not gonna
Okay.
want to eat it.
I'm totally on the Eaton train. I'm not fully on the Jam train, but I just find it so charming that they've been in several movies together.
Like 4 at least, right?
And I'm just
Yeah.
like, is there something going on? So I kind of
Yes.
believe this power couple thing going on, but I'm like, two best friends, are they going to kiss? I hope so.
I've come read my fan fiction I've written about them.
Okay.
No.
I want to pause before this next one. Hey, knock it off.
Yeah. Also, this is why one of the many reasons, other than the fact that it's Jason Blum and we love horror, we've been so fucking excited about this since the very beginning, and they changed the release date on us. But hey, we're all here now.
How many
It worked
times?
out.
Like
Hey
3
now,
times?
Hey now.
At least twice, I think.
It was supposed to come out in January and then some other time,
Yeah.
right?
I think so.
The pandemic, y'all. Can you just believe that this is like
Did you guys know there's a pandemic happening?
as a result of?
You wouldn't know it looking outside.
Ooh.
T. Tea.
And then our last point is it's our first episode of a movie out in theaters now. We
I think you
usually
need
do
to be more
movies-
enthusiastic than that, pal. What? Like, go up.
Go on.
We were in the
sis.
beginning.
Ah!
But yeah,
There we go.
it's exciting.
It's very exciting.
And
We're
We're
like a
the
live
times.
stream.
And although we don't like love being like, hey, let's get drunk because of no reasons, we're gonna get drunk for no reasons.
I
and
love
Wait,
it.
who said that?
Who said that?
because I don't want to condone drinking, but I'll condone my own drinking.
I'll condone drinking.
Drink until
I'll
you
condone
feel
my
like
own
you
too.
shouldn't.
I'll condone my own drinking, and I condone responsible
Hey, hey, hey.
drinking.
My own. Okay, I agree with that.
Yep.
Listen,
I will be
listen,
responsible.
listen.
Thank you. But
We are
Set your own
responsible.
healthy boundaries.
yes,
So
know
yeah,
your limits.
and it's super duper
And
fun
speed
because
past them.
we're all gonna come out here
Yes.
knowing nothing.
Yeah, so we know nothing, and we're also going to get schwasty.
Liddy
Like we do sometimes, but this time this is the goal.
on purpose.
Is to come back and really try and tell you guys what the summary is.
Good luck, all.
Good luck, future us.
So-
is anyone bringing like a pen and paper into the theater?
Nope,
Nope, it's not
We're
allowed.
gonna put it in our mind palaces.
Raw.
Yikes.
It's
It's a hoarder's place up in here.
so I read the short story, so I probably know the most. But what do y'all know about this movie?
Eaton,
Kitty taking.
magicians, and a black phone. I don't even think it was
Ghosties.
black.
Ghosties.
Yes, the ghosties of the
Ghosties.
kitties that have been napped are coming
That have
through
been
the
tooketh.
phone. They've been snatched.
The Snatched Child.
I love Harry Potter and the
the
Snatched
magician
Child.
and the Snatched Child.
Is that not playing in the West End right now?
Yeah, it is. They come out. Their voices come out through the phone. And the Snatched Child hears them, while magician Ethan Hawke, resident magician Ethan Hawke is, freaking him and all of us out.
He's a little freaky, a little freak. A little freak.
I would say this is a freak in a very bad way.
And not a good way. He
Hey.
can be a freak in a good way, but not
in this way.
Not in this
Hey.
way.
Interesting.
Can you spoil this, March? Is it like a pedophile thing?
It's
Oh,
weird.
no.
It's alluded.
It's alluded to that in the story. However, like I said, I read the story. I don't know what they're gonna do with the movie.
God, I hope it's just like sacrificial murder.
Gosh.
God, I hope it's sacrificial murder of
Anything for
children. God, I
sacrificial
hope
murder.
so.
If we're gonna do anything to the children, I hope it's just sacrifice.
Please.
Anyway.
I think that's all. That's about.
Because just like serial killing kids is also kind of just like super fucked up. But like at least sacrificial murder means like there's a purpose to the end.
Girl, do you hear yourself? You're trying to justify
Hey,
this.
No.
this is the same man that watched Phantom of the Opera and was just like, I just couldn't get past the pedophilia.
No, I
here."
honestly like. If it is, then I'm like.
So he's very consistent on his
Yeah.
views.
Yeah, you are.
I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
Call by your name. You're consistent. I know.
Yeah,
what
I
it is.
am consistent. I really don't.
No one likes it, friend.
I like not
Except
even like
for,
as like a media tool.
I
Like,
don't
ugh.
either. I actually,
I think the most disturbing things of all is what captures people's
Most
attention.
disturbing things of SVU.
Things that people don't want to look. I mean, hey, do you guys remember The Secret Window? Like, even though it was like about
No.
incest, and
What's
people
that?
wanted to like read
I
about
forgot
it.
about that.
Yeah,
What?
Yeah.
What is
I
that?
don't even remember that.
Or no, sorry, The Secret Window. I'm stupid.
Oh,
Flowers in the Attic.
thank you. I
was like, girl,
Secret Window. I was like, was that him the whole
I'm
time?
thinking of like
The
also
Secret Garden.
The Secret Garden too, also because like the kid was in love with his cousin or whatever.
What?
Wait, I was making a funny.
No, there is the Secret Garden.
No, like Secret Garden is like a thing in Flowers in the Attic. That sounds
That is
about
about
right.
That's a
incest.
mother thing, right?
I've already
No, that's
had
like-
this much, so I'm already.
Of tequila.
No, Flowers in the Attic is like a whole series. It's
Yeah. That's just wild, and people love it
People
because
love
of
it.
the tragedy and the horribleness of it. Nobody,
Everyone loves a good taboo moment sometimes.
I think that's what that is. But like
Yeah,
even
like
now, like
porn, maybe.
I mean, same thing. Like,
Yeah, people like the taboo stuff.
But I do want to say, like, in terms of, like, sadness for kids, let's be a little sad for kids from now on because things have happened today with Roe v. Wade.
Oh,
I don't want to talk about that.
yeah, I don't want to talk about
Um,
it. Anyway,
It really ruined my morning. Anyway,
Would y'all make a donation? Do we want to make a donation to Planned Parenthood
Yeah.
today?
yeah, we can. We can.
I'm a
absolutely
monthly
do that.
donor, so I'm down. I've been a month. When Trump went into office, me and my brother became monthly donors for, we said, 4 organizations each, and I've kept that since.
That's awesome.
So
I just donate
Powerful.
when I can to like anything.
I donate to specific causes that people like tell me about, like child trafficking. Danielle was talking about that, and there was one that I think Blake Lively
Yes,
was
I do know
a
about
proponent
that.
of, so I donated pretty big on that. At one point for Danielle's birthday, because I was like, "What do you get someone who gets everything? Donate to a cause they like."
Yeah.
Let's do that for Sit Down Loser today. I'll donate for us.
Cute.
Here, here.
Here,
Chin chin.
Oh, okay. Well, cheers, actual beverages.
All right. So before, when I first did this outline, the Rotten Tomato score was 100, but that has changed because
It
it's
came out
to
today.
the public.
It's 14% now.
Dude, are you kidding me?
I would be so devastated. No. Okay, so Rotten Tomatoes.
You can't
sits-
tell me that. Go on, Scott.
Rotten Tomatoes now sits at an 86%. Audiences gave it a 93, and Google users is also at a 93. So it's still pretty high,
It is. That is very.
and it
very
is
high.
still changing. 'cause
That
it's
is still an A. That is.
it's
That
still
is
the
still
beginning of
an,
the weekend.
an A, or at least a very, very high B+.
Listen, the way, and I've been telling Ketzel about it
No,
this
it's an A.
whole week, the way they've been talking about this movie, I feel like this is going to be one of the best horror films of this year. It just,
Period.
the way they, critics and people that have gone out to see it have been saying it's full of heart, emotional. Some did say it is hard to watch, and I'm going to assume it's because of the kid stuff.
Naturally.
And that it has jump scares, but they're done tastefully. Because I think we all feel this. Hey!
Oh God, thank you. I was like, down off the couch.
I think we all feel the same way about jump scares, no? Or
They can be cheap.
I think they're cheap.
I mean, the
they
same
get me.
thing.
They
like,
do get you.
They get
I
me.
just watched the Multiverse of Madness yesterday, and when Wanda looked straight into the camera, I was like,
But
it wasn't even a jump
That's
scare.
not, but that was subtle and beautiful and very, like, that wasn't a jump scare. Jump scares are like
I
the
like when they're like that though.
yeah.
Like more tasteful, as you said.
Scares the shit out of me. Speaking of jump scares, hi Chester.
Chester. Hey.
Nar.
Hey, don't bite that.
I just want to put my saliva all over it.
But yeah, so I think
You need... I hate that face. I didn't like that.
He's distracting me.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be great.
I think
it's
it
gonna be
bodes
so good.
well.
Mm-hmm.
It does bode well.
so my expectation. Oh, also because I read the short story and it was really good. It was only like 10 pages. But
Really?
It gripped. I was like, oh fuck! Like every
10 pages. I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
10
Wow.
pages and it got you, gal?
it got me. So I think my expectations are very high for this movie. But I think they will be met because also they keep saying it's a sister film to Sinister, and y'all know how I feel about Sinister.
Wait. You're telling me that Ethan and Jam are in the same universe as Sinister, even though they're already there?
I don't think it's the same universe. I think it's vibe-wise. It's like a sister
Sister
film.
vibe.
So,
They're not twins, they're sisters.
yeah, so I'm very excited.
Should I go through the actor list?
Yeah.
Wait. Yes. And then expectations.
Yes.
Yes. That's at the end. All right,
Yeah,
so
I
the
jumped
list of... No, the expectations are until the end. You're good.
Mm-hmm.
The list of actors are Ethan Hawke, which we knew.
Yay.
Jason Thames.
Mason
James.
How about I take over?
Where are you?
Mason Thames.
Planet Earth
No,
gets
no.
off?
Mason Thames, Madeline McGraw, Jeremy Davies, J.M. Ramcom, E. Roger Mitchell. I assume Mason and Madeline are the kids, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Who do we
Chester,
recognize?
come on, man.
Chester, no.
Hi.
God.
So that was your child.
I was like, that's my boy.
I knew it was gonna happen too. I was like, he's gonna see it. He's gonna see it. He's gonna see it. And he's gonna be like, that's my spot. Chester is like any other cat and enjoys computers. You guys,
Chester, I must sit on that
cat.
last name. Yeah, Cat. It's never your actual last name. It's
Chester.
what animal you are.
So we obviously only recognize Ethan and Jam, right? Yeah.
I don't recognize anybody.
I want to say real quick, before I let the dogs back in. There has been not a single fucking picture of James Ransone from this film. They're hiding him from us. Because
Dolly was
He's
like,
beautiful.
and I give a fuck why?
there's not been a single... he doesn't show up in the trailers. Has no fucking...
I didn't even know he was in this movie until you guys were like, Jam.
Ethan's like that too. My good sis Ethan. My sister wife Ethan
Well, I
Hawke.
only have eyes for Ethan right now. Ethan, also, if you're watching this,
Don't.
Dolly and I are free.
give us a call. Come to Vegas.
Come to Brazil.
We'll take you to a cool bar.
Come to Brazil. Yeah, so
Expectations.
expectations.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna want to hide my shirt the entire
I
time.
know you are. I know you are.
Why is
pal.
that so cute and charming?
It's
Is it
not.
though?
It's not.
Hold up.
I don't know.
It's not. It's middle-aged white lady-esque stuff.
It's not.
You crossed the room to say that?
Yes, I did. And I do it again. Also, this movie's going to be bussin'. I already have my high expectations.
Can't wait to come back here and be like, this movie was boobity.
Movie is moody.
This movie was booty.
Go on.
So I would also like to say that this is going to be part of a maze at Halloween Horror Nights this year. Black Phone.
That's right.
It's that and Freaky.
I never
Together?
seen
Yeah.
Freaky,
Gotta love
It's
that
really great.
Blumhouse
but that
gives
just makes
all
me
its films a
kind
chance.
of want to be like, buy my ticket. Buy my ticket. I'll pay you handsomely.
It's going to be good.
Let's
dude.
see how this
I wanna
movie
go.
goes.
I didn't say my expectations.
What's your expectations?
I have none.
Well,
The end.
You heard it here first, folks. No expectations.
I know
Just
I'm gonna
vibes.
like it though. I know I'm gonna like it. And also the fact that you Ketzel brought up that we have not seen the face of Jam Ramcom at all from this film tells me a story that you have already painted, that something's wrong.
I think he's gonna be so fucking hot, dude.
And we'll come back to tell you that.
He's gonna be so fucking hot.
Hey, remember what you said about the penguin in the Batman?
They're not gonna do this to me. You can't make James unhot. Don't do this to me. Say psych.
Scott, please.
God, say psych.
I have my theory of who I think he is, but that's because I read the story, and
I
I
know
don't
the
think
theory.
you
Say
guys
that.
don't want to know.
You can't say
I
that.
will say if I was correct afterwards. I'll be like, I fucking knew it.
His accomplice. I'm just going to guess that right now because I have nothing to...
We shall see.
Ooh. Bye.
Au revoir.
Yeah. So
Bye.
this is good timing. We have like a hour, about an hour before the movie. So all right.
Liddy.
Bye!
See you soon, losers.
And
we're back.
We're back. Woof.
Hurry before I start crying again.
Oh god.
Oh god.
Oh god. Oh jeez. Oh god. Oh jeez. All right. Okay.
What the
Oh my.
fuck
Oh
is
gee.
happening down here?
Gilly.
Gilly's under this thing.
Gilly.
Is that allowed?
Get out of here. Gilly.
I've
Oh
been
my
drinking.
fucking God. Gilly.
I've been
Get
drinking.
out.
And now there's a...
Is she laying down?
She sure is.
Jesus fucking Christ.
So
Okay.
leave her.
All right.
What's up?
I've been drinking,
Woof.
dude. You've been drinking. You've been... I
I've
left
been-
my
I've been
phone at the
drinking?
theater.
Yeah, she's been drinking so much she left her phone.
I have retrieved it.
I don't think the drinking was what made her leave the phone so much as like the emotional turmoil.
Well,
I think so too.
On the way in, y'all weren't there for this. She looks at me and she goes, I'm drunk. So, I think actually it does have something to do with it.
that is the
might
secret
have
tool that helped us.
Yeah, so I think the drinking did.
You're right.
Mine
You're right.
got.
Mine
got.
But I
Oh,
remembered.
God.
You see, while I was in the car with you guys.
You did. I'm glad you remembered right as I was about to go home. Like, I'm glad I was able to make that U-turn. Because once I go past that, I would have been like, are you fucking serious?
Oh, no. My phone.
But,
Mine phone.
so, shall we get into this?
Oh, hell motherfucking yeah, dude.
So, I did write some notes. Since I was at the edge of the row, I went ahead and wrote some notes. But, I think it's pretty easy to get into. No? So...
Oh my god, there's no plot points for me to go off of.
No. It's
No,
all over
Gordon,
mine.
literally.
This is raw.
All right. So, this movie starts with a baseball game. And
Tony's like, what?
I love that. It's the
kids
70s.
kids are playing baseball. And
It's in the 70s. It takes place in 78.
78. Where was it?
Denver,
Denver.
Colorado.
See, I don't even remember
Fucking, you guys are amazing.
It was uniforms.
Denver, Colorado.
78. They're
Denver
playing a
wood.
baseball game. What was his name?
Bruce.
Bruce.
Yamada.
Bruce Yamada fucking strikes a home run.
He's a good kid. He's
Well-
a
He
good
kills
Okay.
it.
So Finn is introduced as the pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
He's the main character of this story. And he is pitching for Bruce Yamada. And 2 strikes in. He's actually really good comparatively. On his third, though, Bruce hits that home run. And I guess that's the winning home run because the game pretty much ends right after that.
Right.
They all go home. They do the good game, good
GG.
game. Bruce.
They go in a line and they start like high-fiving each other.
And then, of
Yeah.
course, our 2 guys talk to each other, and they're like, he's like, oh, man, you almost got me there. You almost got me, gal.
Your arm is mint.
And then, well, of course, we got to remember. That's...
That and
We'll have to remember later.
That's a secret tool.
So, we see that at the end of the game, Finn leaves. We don't see him there, but we see Bruce leaving the game. Everyone's like, hi, Bruce. And then he's riding his bike down, suburban Denver, and then he comes across this black van. And everything fades to black, and then we see the fucking title card. And let me tell you, the theme song, fucking scary, dude.
Can
it
I
was like,
say?
I
I mean, I
Wee.
guess I can save it for the end, but
Yeah, when
The-
we go over it.
it was it fucking slapped. I was like, I might have to get this vinyl.
I saw the thing for the vinyl.
I did. I sent it to you. I think. And I was like,
But now we know that Bruce has disappeared,
Mhm.
and we're back to Finn, or Finny. He goes by Finny for most of the movie. And yeah, we just see that he's in a very uncomfortable home setting. We realize that he is of 2 children. He has a sister who's really cool. She's the younger sister, and she's fucking
She's the
cool,
best
dude.
fucking
Gwen.
character.
She's
Finny
fucking
and Finny,
cool.
what a fucking sibling bond.
yeah.
Truly. Gwen's one of the best characters within the last fucking 5 years.
Yeah.
I was like,
Cinema.
of the movie. I
No,
was like, of
fucking
like all of
cinema.
all cinema.
And we'll
Cinema.
tell you as we go more, but
Yeah.
that
A
sets up
badass
the
bitch.
fucking story. Gwendolyn, Finn, and then they have their dad.
Findlin.
We find out that the mom is no longer in the picture. She trigger warning, killed herself. But like, yeah, she is not there in the picture anymore. And the dad is like drunk, and he beats his kids.
I will say, I wrote a note. So I didn't know, because I I read a lot of interviews with Scott Derrickson, and he said, like, during filming, like, a lot of difficult scenes, Madeline, who played Gwen, like, surprised the hell out of everybody during, like, one of the really difficult scenes, and I think it was the scene where she was, like,
Yeah.
she picked up the bottle and was like gonna drop it, and then she fucking dropped it. Like, he was like, she surprised the hell out of all of us. We didn't expect her to do that, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, kid actors, man, kid actors
was
these
a
days.
kid
are
actor.
fucking-
Lived
That
their
story.
literally, okay, like, I know this is, like, probably gonna be a running joke, but, like, Tason Maimes,
Tason Maimes.
who is Mason Thames,
Who is
is amazing. He's Finn.
Yeah.
He's Finn, and he's amazing. And, like, Madeline as Gwen, amazing. Like, these kid actors, I don't know where they're coming from, but, like, these new kids, fucking fantastic, dude. And, like, we go through this whole scene at school. We go back to school. We know Bruce is missing. Bruce is from, like, a neighboring school, and they're like, oh, no, Mr. Yamato's putting those missing posters up again. So sad. And then we see that Finn is kind of, like, not a popular kid. He gets pushed into the bathroom, or not pushed into the bathroom. He goes into the bathroom because his bullies are after him, which is very, very scary. I'm
Including
just like,
a ginger kid.
Me and Cats over there were like, the fucking ginger?
oh my god! Sorry, gingers everywhere.
I'm not sorry.
Oh god, but then, like, yeah, it was 3 bullies, and, like, you know, they look like cool, quintessential 70s kids.
They
Not
don't
the
look
ginger,
cool. They look like bullies. They look like
Oh!
quintessential bullies.
Okay!
The only reason the gingers were hanging out with the fucking bullies was so the ginger didn't get bullied. Anyway, he hides in the bathroom. He hides in the bathroom to hide from the bullies. And he's like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. And they're like, get out of here, dickweed. And I'm like, oh no.
Not take weed.
But then fucking Robin Arellano.
Can we
Fucking
have a
Robin.
moment-
Robin?
Let us
Can we
have a
moment
fucking...
of cheers
Hey.
for fucking Robin?
Fucking
Fucking
Robin.
Robin, bro.
Fucking Robin Arellano comes in. And he's like a Mexican kid in Denver, Colorado. He's wearing a fucking bandana on his
he's
head,
like-
long to his
Yeah,
shoulder.
we know he's tough because he beat up a fucking kid before.
long
Yeah,
to his...
we've already seen that. He like and he
right
just
before we got to
beat-
school that day.
He like fucking whacked the shit out of this kid.
He comes in during this like little bully scene, and he's just washing his hands, all cool kid like.
And he's like, hey, Finny.
How you doing?
What's up,
What's
bro?
up,
What's
man?
up, bro?
What's up, my brother?
One prayer.
And he's like so fucking cool. He's got his little Cheech and Chong like
I
tank
did
top.
clock that
Well,
too. I
it's a
clocked that
t-shirt. Hey, t-shirt cut into tank top. Cheech and Chong
To muscle
graphic tee, which was very cool in the 70s. And he has a bandana and shoulder length hair. He's a kid that you don't want to mess
I'm
with.
gonna dress as him for Halloween.
And so he
God, every kid
Very
wants
cute.
to beat him.
very
I want to
cute.
beat him.
So he comes into the bathroom, saves Finn basically by being cool. The bullies leave, and he's like, "Hey, can you like tutor me in like math or something after school?" He's like, "You're really
It's
good
very
at that." And I was like, "Oh, I'm like, he's a good kid at heart, you know. We just saw him beat the shit out of another kid, but for good reasons,
Yeah, he tells him, "You fuck with Finn, you fuck with me."
right?" And so we know that they're buddies. We know that they're close, and of course, in the timeline of events, we see that Robin is next targeted and disappears, and it's very upsetting. His
We all scream no.
His dad is
No,
like,
no, because like every scene that each kid is taken, we see the black van, which we also all saw from the trailer, but we all
Right.
knew once we see the
once
black
you see
van,
the black
we were
van,
like,
it's
no!
bad news.
during this, we also see that like the police are also talking to Gwen
Right, at the same time.
at the same time because she sees a little bit more than everybody else.
In her
She
dreams.
In her
revealed
dreams.
to her friend, who is Bruce's sister, that she had seen some sort of like dream vision, that she'd seen black balloons, which was not released publicly to anybody. So they're like, so what's the fucking deal that you know about these black balloons? Because we didn't talk about it to anybody. So what do you know? And she's like, I just have fucking dreams. And she went fucking off
Oh yeah, she did.
to the fucking police.
I did write it down. Well, Ketzel.
Go on.
When the principal was introducing the detective, Ketzel was like,
he was like, here's Detective Wallace and Detective Jones.
and Detective Pikachu. I wrote that down because I
Fucking
thought it was
dumb.
funny. But the quote I wrote down because I was like, I'm gonna write this
Because
down.
everyone's gonna remember it.
Go off, sis.
You dumb fucking fart knockers.
That's what she calls the
And she
detectives.
went fucking off.
Gwen
Because I'm the
goes off.
grabber, you dumb fucking fart knockers.
Yeah, she was
Basic-
amazing.
yeah. Basically, it's like they're accusing her of knowing too much, and it's like, I know nothing. Like, I'm just
She's like, I'm a kid.
I'm
How,
just
how
saying
the fuck am I
things.
supposed to do all of this shit?
exactly.
Is what she says verbatim. She's got a.
But I mean, then they're
She's
kind of
got
like,
sass.
let me keep that in my back pocket for a second, because what happened next is Robin do go missing,
he do get
and
snatched.
he was supposed to meet up. Finn was supposed to meet up with Robin, and then like we flash back to the house of like the Blakes. It's Finn and Gwendolyn Blake. We go back to their house. We see the abusiveness of their father, sadness, and like of course he gets confronted by the police at his work. And I was like, I don't know if this guy had a job, but he does have a job. And they're like, why did the police come to me, Gwen? And he's like getting mad at her for seeing the things that she's seeing. Of course, we know by context that the mom had also been seeing things, and that led her ultimately to do what she did. And he's like smacking her with a belt. It's so scary and
I would
sad.
say that was
was
I think was the
rough.
hardest thing to watch because
It
it was
was.
Yeah.
so raw.
She was such
She was-
a good
and
actress.
she was such a good actress.
Crying.
And like I said before, like the whole filming the difficult scene and her, because he was like, if you need a break, let us know. We'll cut it and we'll stop. And she, I think her grabbing the bottle and letting it go, I think that was her like
Yeah,
doing her thing, and I think that's fucking incredible. 'cause
Her
that was
acting
so raw.
is so impeccable.
Because that was such a like.
It's like
real
her,
thing.
like, basically, I mean, of course, if you ever imagine that happening to you, or if it did happen to you, like, you want to just be like, fuck you, to, like, your parents. And that's what she did, is she grabbed the bottle in the midst of that, and she's
And he
like,
was
I'll
like,
fucking drop this,
If
you, like, you
drop it,
drunk,
I'm
like,
gonna
she
beat
didn't
the
say
shit
that.
out of you. And she was like, I
I'm
don't
gonna
give a
fucking
shit.
she dropped it, and it was incredible. The glass breaks on the ground. She's like crying, like it's
It was-
so bad.
It was
so
it was
good.
very hard to watch.
It was
I
so
would say.
good. And he's like, they're just dreams, Gwendolyn. They're just dreams. And she's like, yes, okay, fine. They're fucking dreams. And like, she had to say that to her dad. She goes to sit down and like with her brother. And they're watching TV. Some moral oral type of shit. I never watched that show, but that's what it looked like claymation.
Mm-hmm.
It was just so sad. Like, and it's so beautiful and sweet that they like find comfort in each other. It sucks because like, they're in the same house. They're like being abused by their father. Like, it's a bummer, but at least they have each other. But then the next day,
Now that Robin's gone to protect Finn, the three bullies actually beat the shit out of him, and Gwynnie has her moment to shine yet a fucking again. Because
hold on, wait for Sky to come back.
Sorry, Antonio is right. Like, cause like I wrote it down.
Wait a second. You have to talk into the mic.
I wrote it down. Gwen is the coolest because she literally starts beating the shit out of the bullies,
With
and the
a rock.
bullies beat her back. But like, she literally, you're right.
she grabs a rock and absolutely smashes one of them in the head.
The blood was like, because that was a head wound.
That was a head
That was a
wound.
lot.
It was heavy. And she says things like, you cocksucking cowards. And she's like, fuck you too. Something? Jesus Christ. I have this urge to watch this movie again because that girl is fucking... She's a
Firecracker.
poet. She's an actress.
The way she weaves her words.
She's the poet warrior. She's a warrior poet. That's who Gwynnie is. And honestly...
She was a ride or die.
She's
truly.
incredible. They beat her up, and she crawls over, and she's looking over at her handiwork at this kid.
Yeah, they're indiscriminate. They're like, I don't care if you're a fucking girl, like, kick her in the fucking face. But it's just funny to me that, like, kids in the 70s, at least the way it's depicted, is like, after you're beat up, you go sit on the sidelines.
And you would just watch, just recover.
And then they both look at each other, bloodied, the head wound kid and Gwendolyn, and they're like, fuck. But Finn has to take the beating.
Finn's walking later on, and we see the black van.
Uh-oh.
And so begins our fucking journey.
Let us describe to you how this fucking happened. It happened so fucking quick.
It was on the fucking trailer, and I still fucking hated seeing it.
I was in awe of how it happened. Go on.
Can I just say, anybody that's like, oh, you want to see a magic trick? Just say no.
Just say
no. Walk the fuck away.
I know.
Magicians.
Unless you know
musicians
them on a very, very
No.
personal-
No.
Even if you know them on a personal level, say no. Walk the fuck away.
Now, after this movie, I know you had your things with magicians. I didn't quite understand. But if one of y'all were like, I started just learning magic tricks, it'd be like,
magicians,
like, you know
musicians, mimes, and Mark Duplass. That's it. That's it.
that would strike fear in our hearts.
But it
and Venom.
happened.
Those are the 4 horsemen of our apocalypse.
Yes, our personal apocalypse.
It happened so quick, you guys. It happened so fucking quick. Like, he was like, oh my god, I just dropped everything. Can you get my hat there? And he's like, oh my god, thank you. And this is Ethan Hawke finally makes his fucking appearance in this film. And he's like, yeah, give me my hat. And he's like, great. And then Finn is like, are those black balloons in your van? And he's like, yeah. He opens the door to have him like see a closer look, and then fucking yanks the balloons and puts it around him to like confuse him. There's so much going on, and he sprays some aerosol something into his mouth to like make him
to fill up balloons, or some shit.
I don't think it's helium because it doesn't get you high like that. It must have been something else.
That is exactly how it happens with the book, if I'm remembering correctly. Like, it was so, like, chaotic. Like, he was like, oh, are those black balloons? And he was like, yeah. And then all of a sudden, he was like, oh, and he was sprayed with, like, I don't know what it was. It wasn't, like, helium, but it was, like, something.
Something in an aerosol can, so he sprayed it. He sprayed it into Finn's mouth. Finn gets disoriented. We see his point of view looking out of the van while he's already inside it. They toss the balloons, Ethan tosses the balloons and fucking closes the door, and that's it for Finn in that scene. And like, we are just like, oh my god, he got
tooketh.
And it was so horrifying. I'm like, it happened so fast. Like, it really just like makes you think about like all the stories. And like, me and Antonio watch SVU a lot, so I'm just like, how it could happen so fast.
I mean, cats will watch true crime documentaries a lot.
Yes.
I too watch true crime documentaries.
Like,
You've also both like finished all of Criminal Minds, and like
That's true too.
I've not done that.
I think there was one episode where it was like kidnapping, and it was pretty elaborate, kind of like that.
But that's the thing. It happens so fast.
It just happens so fast.
Is the thing.
And I'm sorry we keep saying that, but like seriously, like when you watch it, it just, you're so in awe. But anyway, what happens next?
So it cuts to Finney waking up in the basement where there is just a mattress, a black phone that's disconnected on the wall, and a toilet.
A barred window.
And a barred
toilet.
window. And that's it. And what happens next? The grabber, who is Ethan Hawke, sits on the edge of the bed and is like, I should fucking kill you for what you did to my arm, but I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Snap your neck.
I didn't realize.
Can we talk about his fucking personality?
And that...
One second.
One second.
I didn't realize he hurt his arm because he was holding a little spaceship. A spaceship he's had with him since the beginning of the movie. And it like lights up. It's like a little flashlight.
It's a flashlight, spaceship, or rocket pen.
Yeah.
It's a flashlight rocket pen.
So that's how he gutted him in the arm so good. And that's why he's like, I knew you're fucking special. Go on.
Ethan Hawke fucking transforms. My guy fucking transforms.
Like
Does
Johnny
he have-
Depp into the fucking Charlie and the Chocolate Factory voice.
Does he have multiple personalities or different? Because I noticed this a lot. Like each of the different, like, because the mask is like a 2-parter.
Yes, it is.
Different things would be happening, and he'd have like weird. He'd be slightly more vicious with ones versus the others.
You know, I don't know if that's the case, but they definitely, because I read an article about making the mask, they had like different variations of it. I don't know if that was the case, like with different personalities, but they definitely did different masks. Like,
I think he remained that same weird like fucking personality, but I think like when he was more vicious, he would just put on like it just matched his mood, a mood mask, if you will.
And like, I would say like him sitting on the edge of the bed, like talking to him, like that from reading the short story, it was exactly like it, and I was just like the whole time because I was like, oh my fucking god, this is just like the story.
You really got me
And I
there,
was
gal.
like, holy shit.
You really
It's
got
so
me in the
scary.
arm.
Yeah, and he was like, but I'm not gonna kill you.
But he plays such a he's very menacing, but he's also like soft spoken,
Yeah.
like villain.
That's what makes him truly evil.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
scary.
it could be torturous, but the thing is, like, he's waiting it out, right? He does not feed Finn the first day.
But we don't know why.
We don't know why.
We don't know why.
Do you know why?
I do know why.
Oh fuck.
I mean, like, that's the thing, like, all these kids, you know, have been killed. But
Yes.
right away, but Finney was the only one left alive, but we'll get into that later.
Oh shit, dude. Why can't you go through it now?
Because we'll get into it later. Anyway, so what happens in the next part? Does anybody remember?
Well, I feel like from here on now, it's like
Survival and trying to find him.
and that mysterious black phone.
And
Yeah.
the grabber also points out that the phone has been disconnected since he's known the basement or something.
Right. He's like,
And
since
that-
I've been young.
Because I was a kid, yeah.
Yeah, it's always been disconnected. It
But
hasn't,
why
though?
does he know that? Unless he grew up there and
He
he's
said
got a
he used to
past.
spend all the time there. Like he was once. He said at some point, he's like, I was once here for a while.
Like it was him once before in the.
Like this is like a generational trauma thing.
Yeah.
Which it could be, but we don't know because that's
You
also,
know.
like, something like I think that's
No, I think it's just
scary
context.
about
Just-
like
there's no context for that.
Like,
It happened to me, so it's got to happen to somebody else.
yeah, like certain villains, like, you know, they don't have a backstory. Well, it's kind of scary.
Menacing. Okay, well, we know. Yeah, the phone is disconnected. He goes away. Ethan goes away. I don't think he has a name. Just a grabber.
Mhm.
The grabber goes away. And so, like, is that the first time the phone rings?
The phone rings,
But nobody.
but
It rings
Finney doesn't
once,
answer.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
He's like prompted to look at the phone and pick it up and hear it, but nothing happens.
But Finney
on the other
also
end.
has been drugged, so I think he's like, I think it's probably like my
It's
imagination.
just my brain. Well, they find out he's missing at that point.
Right, the
Yeah.
dad's contacted. Gwen
Gets a
is
call
at
from her
her
dad.
friend's house,
Mhm.
gets a call from dad, and she immediately runs home.
Yeah, there's
Um,
two things that are happening. It's the story of Gwen trying to force these like dreams,
Yes.
right, to get her to get some sort of like sign of
Yeah.
like where Finney is.
Some help.
Yeah, and then on the other side, it's Finn dealing with
The
the
grabber.
black. Yeah, with that and the fact that he keeps getting these phone calls from this black phone in the basement.
And just to preface, like, Gwen's dreams, right? Like, she thinks it's, like, Jesus, so she's been praying to try to get answers. And it's so funny because, like, in the story, she's like, please, Jesus, please. And, like, she's like, okay, so you're full of shit.
He's like, Jesus, what the fuck?
Okay,
It was fantastic. But she asks, like, someone for help. Like, really, when you're a kid, do you know who to ask for help with? Like, besides facing religion, right? So I thought that was very, like, you know, charming in a way that's where she felt like she could find, like, solace and help.
Yeah,
And even then, she was still, like, questioning that, right?
yeah.
Fucking little kids fucking know so much.
According to Wikipedia, Bruce calls him first and is unable to remember his own name, what he did when he was alive, but tells Finney about a floor tile that he can remove to dig a tunnel.
Yeah, that was
Correct.
he was first.
That was
And
first.
that was the first day-ish.
Yeah.
The
So
next
this,
day after
so
breakfast.
the
That was
second
the
one
first day, right
after-
after
He tells
he's
him
up
about
on
how
this.
his arm is mint.
yes.
Yeah, his
Yeah.
arm is
He
mint.
reminds him a couple times
Yeah.
of that.
Bruce?
So the second time is when the grabber brings Finney food, leaves the basement door unlocked, and
Which-
as Finney he notices it and almost goes to the door, but then the phone,
The phone
rings.
rings.
The next boy is named Billy, and he explains that it's a game the grabber plays, and he's waiting upstairs to attack him if he leaves the basement. So
Right.
Billy tells Finney to use a cord that he's found to take the basement window, like the
Right,
The
like
grate
he's
down.
just
The
letting
grate
you
down.
know there's a cord that I hid when I was down there. Here's where it is.
Yeah.
And so Finn does not take the bait. He does not go upstairs. And menacingly, we look upstairs because the camera shows us that the fucking frapper is fucking right there. No shirt!
No shirt, just dad bod out.
Belt out.
Y'all nasties were fucking horny for it. Let me tell you.
What are you
What
talking
are you
about?
talking about? I was not horny
Who?
for that. Who was horny?
Oh, one person was a
Sky.
nasty.
You also looked over and I saw you smiling, so I thought you were horny.
No, I was like,
Okay, I wasn't. Listen. Okay,
Explain
hold on,
yourself.
Let me defend
Explain yourself.
myself. Let me defend myself. Not as the character, but Ethan Hawke with the dad bod. I can get with that.
yeah, I can get with that.
But
Well,
not
okay,
the
well, there
character.
you go.
Not the character, though.
Hey, but remember, I look at the character, not the man in the movie.
Right.
I thought you said that characters ruin things for you. That's why you were not attracted to Chris Evans or James Branson.
He is ruined. Ethan is ruined
you still
in the
appreciate the
movie.
Yeah,
dad
no,
bod.
Ethan was not good in this movie. He was
Well,
not
Ethan
good in
is
this movie.
dead to me.
However, Ethan Hawke with the dad bod, I can get with that.
Let me tell you, I took
Zaddy.
a quick look into Tumblr real quick on the way here. That's all that tag is filled with is that fucking screen, those screen grabs of
Disgusting.
him with the fucking.
Nar.
without
Please
a
let
shirt.
that go. I want to
Nar.
stop talking about it right now.
The tag, the black phone.
Nar.
Oh, it's just
Stop.
a screen
Yeah.
it's
Stop
screen grabs
it.
of that. Okay.
All around
So
me are
we see that happening upstairs. We flash back downstairs. He does not take the bait. He eats his eggies and he drinks his soda and then
sody.
he's done. Okay?
So that's when that phone call comes with the cord because it's the spinning bottle, which spins really fast and then upright and points towards the window for the cord. And that's how he ends up getting the
and
cord.
he yanks the
Grate
like we
off,
said
yeah.
And
yes
that's
like
from
we
Billy.
said yes from Billy, like we said, there's a grate on the window and he manages to pull that off. How he doesn't alert like the
Soundproof.
grabber.
Super soundproof. And the
Great.
grabber is waiting.
No, it's fantastic. I think I would have noticed that if I walked in, but that's just me.
Yeah,
'Cause I'm
but
an
like,
observant
my brain
bitch.
was there. He just,
But-
this guy doesn't seem very observant.
But it's good. It's good.
No,
he
yeah,
tosses
he was a
it.
bit-
He tosses it in the fucking hole, right? So it's not
that
noticeable.
I don't think that was that.
Yes, it
for a
it
while.
was
Oh,
because
did he, like,
that's
toss
what
it?
happened at the end. So
well, that's what happens at the end, but he doesn't toss it in the
Yes.
hole, like for us to see until the very end.
No,
like
but
we don't even see.
how
him
is he supposed to hide it?
I went
I
poop
don't
during this time, so I don't know. But I do know the next part is when Gwen dreams of Billy, who Finney just talked to, is being abducted and confides in her father about what's happening. And I think that's the point where he was like
Okay, you do know some shit.
telling her about her mom, correct? Which brings me to the next part listed on Wikipedia. So the detectives on this case speak to an eccentric man called Max, who is played by James Ranson. And can I fucking tell you, I gripped Ketzel's shoulder
You
and
big-
I pulled, because like, holy fucking shit.
And
this
you were the only
man-
one who did.
This man. Were you?
Hey, you love James Branson. What did you think of his look?
It was very Miami. Come to Miami.
Welcome to Miami.
Welcome to Miami.
I would let him snort coke off my fucking ass.
Me fucking too, because bitch, that shirt.
Those sideburns, the mustache, the coked out look.
Honestly, the only thing that would have completed that look was just no pants.
Yes. Yes. But
So costume design comes down to 1
back
point.
me up here, man.
Nobody.
But he plays Max, who is like literally like, I know he's grabbing kids in this area. He's like
Conspiracy theorist.
conspiracy theorist, like crazy guy who is very interested in tracking down the grabber.
Right.
That's it.
And they discredit him because of the coke lines on his coffee table. And he's like, oh shit, Max, what have you done? And I'm
And then
like,
he proceeds
third
to smoke the
person,
crack.
third person Max. And then, what seems to be a transition to the basement is a transition to the basement.
I've never loved anyone more.
All right. Go on,
But
Sky.
it's beautiful the way it goes back into the basement. It is revealed that Max is actually the brother of the grabber, and Finney is in his basement the whole time.
Undo your victory
Yep.
lap real quick. So Skybin knew this.
So that was my theory the whole time. That was my
Gotta-
theory
you
the
can't
whole time.
talk and not be holding
Say
a
it
mic.
one more time.
That was my theory the whole time.
Yeah, because she was like, there's one very important character later on.
So in the short story, Finney's like basically shit talking to the grabber, and he's like, why the fuck am I alive? There's someone upstairs, huh? Who's upstairs? Huh? And it's revealed that his brother, the grabber's brother, is like in town living with him, and he's like a cokehead, and he's like staying up all night, and he's
So we're,
crazy,
like-
but not like necessarily like knowing he's grabbing kids or anything, but he's just a cokehead. And he's staying with him, and that's why the grabber hasn't killed him yet. So that I was like, I bet you anything, and I told Ketzel this. I was like, I bet
That's
you
why
anything
he's
that
special.
Jam Ramcom is playing the brother,
Because
and
they're,
that's why
like-
he hasn't been shown
Because
yet.
they didn't want to show any spoilers at all. That's the reason we got no screen grabs and nothing in the trailer, because he was a very important character.
I know,
just
and
bros
y'all,
being
as
bros.
soon as,
Yeah.
let me tell you, as soon as we heard that they were brothers, y'all, everybody in this group was like, right. Sure.
Okay.
Because they're like, brothers, really? Like, they're a couple. And I
Also-
was like,
Also, let me tell you, when we heard, you and I both heard his voice immediately, we're like, ah!
I literally was like,
But that's how she knew she was probably the
oh, but
brother.
y'all didn't want to flash back to the moment that I went, and
Okay,
I-
Oh,
okay.
shit,
But
yeah.
I so was thinking about that
absolutely right,
just
you're
now.
absolutely right. But that's where in the book, that moment is where I was like, he's into kids. Because, like, that moment where he's like,
I want to
just
be
wanted
alone with you.
I just want to take another look at you. And you were like,
Dahlia.
Star
Let's
is born
flashback.
fucking nonsense.
So, okay,
let's
in
let's
the
flash
theater,
back to the
we skipped
let's
through a
flash back to
couple things.
earlier.
I think the
Let's-
group
wait.
next to us.
Wait, we went
Hang on.
to the
Is
back.
that, is that the rewinding sound?
when Finn was on the bed and the grabber was at the end of the mattress. I was like, I just want to take another look
no.
at you.
No, he came back
It
to
was
look
for
at
another
him.
scene, yeah.
Oh, really? Because I feel like it was at that time. And then I went, and then everybody around me was like, what the fuck?
She gasped so
No. It was when he
loudly.
came back into the room. I think it was after the first time he fed him. He
Yeah,
gave
because
him food.
the food was had have stuff in it.
No, it
No,
never
no.
had anything.
No, it had never had anything. in it.
Let me tell you, I'm confusing that with fucking Fresh, which I was watching earlier. It was food. There was
No. He
drugs in
came
that.
back because Finn was like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" And like he was like, "I just want to take another look at you." And like that in the book was where I was like, "Oh no, he's in the kid."
And also
That's where I was like, they very much alluded to.
And
that.
it was very obvious because then he says it again. He's like, "I want to look," and he's like in tears, like, and I was like,
and that's where
when
Dahlia was like,
so loudly in the theater,
So fucking
so loud that I wrote it down.
and you were right
Jesus
next to the other group.
I
so-
was like, so I think they like looked over at us for a second. I was like,
And
and
Antonio
fucking gay.
who was full of shame. Was,
I can feed the world with shame for a year and still
first
have
off,
some left over.
That group came in after us, so fuck them.
so suck a dick. Secondly,
No, I think they were also queers, or at least
They were
one of
think
them.
also
so.
kids.
Were they
okay.
kids?
I think they were.
They were
younger
Gen
than
Z
us.
They were
queers.
probably younger.
And
than
let
us.
me just
Everyone's
say,
younger than us at
her
this point.
fucking gasping then proceeded to send me into a wheezing fit in the theaters.
Me and Ketzel were like,
I was fully wheezing, which is not what I would like to do in a movie theater. It's
it was
fucking
very
sent
funny
us.
because you were like,
And you were the only one who went.
You're the only one who reacted. Everyone else was silent.
Because I had just made an inside joke and I heard it again, like said by the actual character in the movie, and I was like, it was fantastic. Anyway,
Fucking A Star Is Born.
you're welcome.
Anyway, so what
Pushing forward.
past James Ranson.
Past James
We need
Ranson.
to hear the next phone call.
More phone calls.
Vinny speaks to Griffin, who is also another one of the victims from the Grabby. Finny tells, Griffin tells Finny.
Grabby tells.
Griffin tells Finny that the grabber took his bike lock and that there's a lock on the door. And he tells him the combination. Or he's like, I wrote the combination on the wall. He's like, I'm not sure what it is, but I wrote it on the wall. And it's a combination of numbers.
Of like 7-digit numbers.
Yes.
No, it's 5 digits, and it's a 3-digit or it's a 3-number code.
Yes.
So 22317.
God, the fuck that you fucking remember the
So
goddamn
anyway, so he tells him that there's a code on the wall. Get the code, you can get out.
He's just
and
gonna
he
have
also
to try
tells
everyone.
Finny that the grabber is currently
Asleep.
Sleep. He hasn't been sleeping, so you have to be quiet.
So Finny goes upstairs, unlocks the door successfully. But as soon as he unlocks it, the grabber wakes up and is this whole fucking chasing it. It's so fucking scary.
So scary.
Let's be clear. He wakes up because Samson is alarmed. Samson is the dog. The dog was also present, and this is how we know they're brothers, when Max opened the door to the police, he's like, Samson.
Yes. So, but anyway, so Finney is able to escape. He starts running, but he's recaptured by the grabber.
I know, the fucking porch lights turn on, you guys. The fucking porch lights turn on. You think that he's gonna be saved.
You would think someone would come out.
Fucking scream and I will gut you like a pig.
And
He
choke
said.
you with your
I'm
intestines.
so
And the lights.
sad that I don't know if it would have made a difference, but once you run out that door and you know he's chasing you, you find the first place you can possibly hide that he can't see you, and you just stay there until he drives off.
Look, anything could happen.
I know. That's why I was like, he's a kid. I mean, honestly, I'm like,
Anything could
And
happen.
a rather clever kid.
he is really
He's a
clever,
very
and he's
smart
having
kid.
a lot of
He
help.
screamed. He screamed. People heard
did
it.
scream.
They just refused to help. They did not investigate. So the porch lights turn off. He gets punched, knocked out, back to the basement.
So he's back in the basement, and the phone rings again, and it's another one of the victims named
Lance.
Vance, who is
Sorry.
the punk kid.
He's the punk
Who we
kid.
see,
The beautiful, angelic punk kid.
we see in a flashback who's playing pinball, as most punk kids are playing pinball.
Are known to
I'm
do.
just
Jesus
trying to beat
Christ.
my high
He has
score,
just this,
man.
Big roofy hair going on. He's
Luxurious.
playing pinball.
Very 80s.
Very,
say.
very 80s. And then his games gets fucked up, and then he just goes into a fucking wailing match on these kids.
He wails on this kid, and he carves numbers onto this kid's arm, of
And-
which it is kind of a dream, of which our good sis
Good sis.
Gwendolyn is
Which
having. So, it's like we're living in a flashback, but it's also a dream at the same time. So Finn is there to witness this attack happen. He's like, that's why I remember you, Vance. He's like, I remember you, while he's talking to him on the phone. And the dream keeps happening. The police take Vance away from it was in a convenience store, and they put him in the back of a police car, of which Gwendolyn we see is walking around, but it's so strange. It's so eerie because she's able to move around freely. So she gets also in the back of the cop car after she sees that Vance has been arrested, and she's listening to everything that's happening. The conversation that's happening between Vance and Finn, she's hearing, but in the dream. He hears it through the phone. She's seeing it live through the police car radio, and they stop at some point in front of the house where he's being kept. And the number that was carved onto the kid's arm, of which Vance was arrested for, is the same number of the house.
7741.
And he is
Yeah.
like, this is it, motherfucker. Today's the day.
So that, and then Vance also tells Finney about the hole in the wall that he can climb through, and Finney starts to fucking whack the wall with
He's
the
incredible.
the fucking
The toilet seat cover.
the toilet seat cover,
The toilet tank cover.
Right?
toilet can-
Also, it's also a weapon that you could have
Yeah.
used to fight back. I mean,
He needed.
It had to happen this
needed-
way, Antonio.
I
He
know,
needed his
I get
friend
it. It's
support
hard to
later on,
say.
which we'll get to.
Yeah.
He
yeah.
breaks through the wall.
He
Yeah.
breaks through the
and
wall
is also smart and uses parts of the toilet thing as a screwdriver.
Yeah.
as a
Which I was like,
screwdriver in order
brilliant.
to get into this
which
Freezer.
leads into the freezer.
Yeah.
But he can't break through the freezer. And I think this part was so important. Not important, but I was like,
It
'cause
hurt.
He
It
started
hurt.
crying because he was like, I can't
He hadn't
I
cried
can't
once.
get through.
This is the first time.
He
This is
hadn't
the
cried
first
once,
time.
but this was the first time he was like, I'm
can't
crying
do
'cause
it.
I can't get through. And then our good fucking sis Robin.
we get a call from Robin.
So we finally get a call from Robin. And he comforts Finney and encourages him. He's like, you gotta fucking stand up for yourself.
he remembers
I've been
him.
telling you to stand up for yourself. And Finney's like, you know what, you're right. You've been telling me to stand up for myself. And he tells Finney to remove the receiver from the line, fill it up with sand, and just fucking start whacking.
Pack it in.
And they do,
make it heavy.
No, pack it in, make it heavy, and they do a synchronized practice move.
Is that where you cried?
Oh yeah, I was fucking crying during this.
I was
Not
yet.
tears
I
down
wasn't
my
crying
eyes, but
just
my
yet.
eyes were fucking
But I was like-
watery. I was glass.
Me and Ketzel were like, I was like, oh,
Oh
Robin.
my
What
God.
a turn of events were these? Well, not really for Dahlia.
Where
this
I'm crying over this?
Yeah.
Is it
It's
not
so sad. Robin is
Hold
just
on.
such a fucking pure character. He's
is.
Yes.
pure of soul. And
Don't say anymore.
robbed. just fucking robbed it. This earth was robbed.
We just felt so hard because this was his actual friend that he was very, very close to, right? And I just think it's so interesting to note that like the longer that they were on the other side, and I'm gonna say the other side,
We're fine. I'm keeping an eye on it. That's all I'm staring at.
the longer that they were on the other side, the more that they forgot themselves. So Finn was able to recognize the other kids because he was like, I noticed that you were missing, or he remembered tidbits about them. And of course he remembered Robin's name. So that really touched us because he was ready to help him fight and finally stand up for himself. Something I think that he knew that Finn had inside him the whole time.
Gwen, like we had mentioned, knew of Vance's abduction. So she knows the house. She knows the location of the house. So she calls the detectives that are on the case. And then, according to this, Max realizes Finney is in the basement.
Yes,
so
comes
as
to
Finney is getting ready to fucking knock the fuck out of who comes out.
And at this point, Ethan has left the house because he's on a job. He's collecting things. He's collecting things to bury the body. Max realizes what is happening. He's like, absolutely not. This just cannot happen. He makes his way downstairs and he's like, no fucking way. No
He's like,
fucking
holy
way.
fucking mother of...
I knew he was hiding something down here. I just didn't know what.
You gave him his Gilly Martin voice.
Stop that right now.
A man who doesn't have $30, finally has a clue.
Has a clue and loses it real quick.
He's like, oh my
Yeah.
God, I knew. And he was like, y'all want to know how I knew?
And Finn's like, no, please.
And
Please
Finn's like,
no.
I just want to go home.
And at the same time, the police are knocking at the door. And it is fucking frightening. It is crazy. I'm like, how do they not hear it? They make it all the way to the basement. They see the bodies. They find the bodies. And they're like, I'm like, wait, that's not the same basement.
No.
And
They clear the
then-
house and then it's the wrong house.
At the same
We
time.
find out it's the wrong house.
And then at the same time, as Max is like, y'all want to know how I found this out? The grabber comes up behind Max, fucking whacks him with an axe, dead on sight. Which
Ripped to a king.
Ripped to a...
A coked up king.
He's like, that's
a
my
king?
brother.
That was a jester, my guy.
Yes.
To my coked up court
But,
jester.
but the grabber literally tells Finn, like, look what you made me do. That was my fucking
You made
brother.
me kill my brother.
He was an idiot, but he was my idiot.
Which...
Shut the fuck up, dude. Shut the fuck up.
I love who I love. Happy Pride.
I guess.
Ugh.
I'll allow with
But
this
anyway,
month.
this is where it gets so crazy. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah. This is the best coordinated scene.
So what happened was that he takes the axe out of Max's head.
Weird, gross
He
sounds.
Samson.
goes to get Samson and brings him downstairs on a chain. Or Samson comes downstairs on a chain. He ties him up to the corner. So it's basically like Samson is protecting the door, right? Finn cannot leave because Samson is protecting the door. And so Finn already has the phone in his hand. And he is going to the bathroom, of which it's around the corner.
So he just runs.
He's
He just ran, yeah.
He ran.
Okay, I was like, did he do something to distract the guy?
No, he just
No.
ran.
He ran.
And then he goes to where he knows the hole is, and he pulls the fucking rug right before the grabber steps on it, but also he pulls this cord. So he
No, he
maybe he
pulls
pulls
the
the cord.
cord
He
to
pulls the
create
cord, and
a
then he
snare.
falls down the hole, of which there's a carpet or something running over it. And then the grabber falls in. He twists his ankle in the grate that he pulled out of the
We all
window.
screamed.
And so we're horrified. But at the same time, we're happy because it's the fucking grabber. And so the grabber is just ready to fucking swing because he's basically he can't
axe.
move. And then Finn remembers his moves that he learned from Robin. And he's front, back, punch.
And he does that.
And he does that. And he does that and he swings and he gets him. He fucking gets the grabber several times until the grabber stops to grab him. But then at this point, he's able to still get free. He punches him again. The mask comes off.
He
And the
rips
grabber
off the mask.
screams.
And
It's
that's the first time you see his face,
Yeah.
his full face.
Which is so I feel because I've talked about Hush a lot where I'm like, once you take off the mask and you see the person's face, I'm like,
They
It
lose
takes
their
away,
power.
yeah.
you lose their power, and that's so early on in that movie. It's a good movie, but like still, like I feel like in this movie it's so powerful because it's like you're taking away.
Because it's part of it. Well, I think the thing about that is like, for this, it is a mask that was designed just like Texas Chainsaw Massacre
It's
is a
like-
mask
it's
that's
the same
designed.
thing-
It's all the rest of them, but Hush was not a big like.
Well,
There's no
it's the
big
same
design
thing,
to
but
that
it's
mask.
like, but you could have kept it on and made
For
that
mysterious, for
a thing.
like
Made that a thing.
make it
Whereas
sinister.
like
That's just trying to
taking-
go off of everything else. Like
Well,
the
yeah.
strangers keep on their mask the entire fucking time.
yeah, but it's
Hush
the
is not
same
about
like
that.
taking off Michael Myers' mask. It's taking away his power.
Yeah.
Whereas like when he puts it back on, but she's got his power back and he
Yeah.
kills
So-
everybody.
I don't think Hush has any like power
Wait,
attached to that
let's
mask.
remember, Ethan is not a supernatural entity. He's
No,
just
he's
a
not.
regular
He's
man
just a man
regular guy.
of suburban Denver, and he has lost his only like
his identity.
weird like
he lost
his
his
only
identity when
mask
the
like
mask was taken off.
to hide like it's crazy. So he's screaming, and at this point Finn takes advantage of that. He decks him in the face. He jumps over him because he's fallen in the hole, and then he puts the cord around his neck and he strangles him to death. The phone starts ringing and we're like, yo, what the fuck? But then he's like, it's for you, to Ethan, the grabber. And then like he hears all the voices of the boys that he's killed, and he's
and
like,
all their like iconic lines.
all their iconic lines, what they've said before
all the
in
ways
those
that
messages.
Finn is using all of that to help him escape. He uses everything.
Also-
And they were beautiful.
Mhm. And can I say that's how the short story ends?
Them
And
saying their
it's
lines.
beautiful.
Because he's like, it's for you, and that's how it ends.
Damn.
And I was like,
That's very-
so
that is
that's
very-
why I was like, I'm very interested to see how this movie
Is
goes.
gonna
Yeah.
go.
And
after
I'm
that.
very, I was
Oh,
very
that's so
happy
cool.
with how it
Because
went.
I know this is one of the things we didn't. It was a very small point. And a couple of things was like, one of the boys says, the grabber can hear the phone too. He just doesn't
Yes.
think it's real.
Yes, that
They say that.
that's what
and
they say in
then
the book too.
It's saying one of them says you're running out of time, which is one of the lines that said because the brother's gonna find out. And I was like, is it like a multiple personality thing? And this is right. This is before like
Sky,
we're
what the
positive
fuck,
it's
dude?
a fucking mask. But
Say some things with the
It's
brother.
James Ransom.
This is James.
That's James Ransom.
It's James
We're
But
just
that
gonna-
was the thing
But,
too.
like, they
like
didn't- they hadn't
knew
confirmed
too. So like that was literally the book. They were like, he can hear it, but he doesn't think it's real. Like he doesn't hear it like you do.
he isn't responding to the phone, and so
So
like,
when
So
at
it's
the
like when he
end,
picks up the
story-
receiver, he hears nothing, right?
he just doesn't
No,
think
that's
it's
just the-
real.
no at the end
Like he's crazy.
That's why he never
Yeah.
picked it up. Before.
he never picked it up. He just
Because he
doesn't
was
think
like,
it's real.
oh, it's not hooked up, but like you can hear it, like whatever.
He's never actually picked it up, so now he
But
gets to
like
hear their
at
voices.
the end when he's like, oh, it's for you.
Cut to black.
And
That's
let's
the end of it.
And
remember,
that's the
y'all.
end.
Let's remember that at this point, Finn is strangling the grabber, and he had already cut off the cord from where the receiver hooks up. It is separated, and it is still ringing, and he puts it up to his ear.
It's been cut, right?
It's
Yeah, he cut
Cut
it
it
using
when
his.
Robin. He was
Yeah,
talking to
it's
Robin.
been cut.
it's haunting. So
It was
anyway,
right after
he kills
talked to
him.
Robin.
And then that's when he fucking breaks his neck, and I was like,
He
we
goes-
were all like,
Everybody in the
Everyone
theater clapped. Everybody in
It
the
was one of
theater.
those. It was like a plane landing, my guy.
Yeah, it truly
We
was. 'Cause
loved
that
it.
I
final
will
line
say-
before was his arm's mint, and he goes, "Pah!"
Pa!
Fucking
and I
neck
will
cracks.
say that the only other time I've clapped in a theater was the Purge election year.
What the fuck?
You know when she gets thrown.
Yeah.
In the car. That's
Yeah.
the only time I've ever clapped in a theater.
It
It's
was-
a good,
It was that was
The
a
best
good
time to
moment.
clap.
We were all like,
It was
fucking
beautiful.
Finally.
finally.
At this point, I feel like in the theater, I had my my hands on my head, and I was just like, just holding on for dear life because I needed to feel so secure. I'm like, please let him get out of this. He fucking kills him, and he gets the steaks of which he had gone into the freezer, right? The steaks that were frozen, unfrozen, tosses it to the dog, goes upstairs.
All the parts being used, everything coming together.
Every
the
single
final
fucking
thing,
thing.
the lock, the combination, and boom.
And guess what? He had tried to use his little spaceship pen flashlight to try to open it also. And I just thought that was a little key memory to keep with him throughout the whole movie. I don't know if he kept it all the way to the end because I wasn't that observant, but he manages to escape the house. He walks through, unlocks the door because he knows the combination at this point, goes out the front door, stands still in the front lawn, and then he sees outside, he sees his sister, and he's like...
Across the street where the house
where
with the
all
bods
the
are.
fucking
Silent.
police are on the other side fucking investigating
Yes.
that, and they're like, it's the wrong house.
It's the wrong house, but it's right across the street. It turns out the grabber had 2 houses, one directly across the street where he was stashing the bodies. And it is so insane. And then fucking, of course, the first person to notice that Finn has walked out of the house is Gwendolyn, so she runs to him and hugs him. And then the police officers, the detectives that were on the case, they run towards the house, they go into the house, they pull the kids out, put them in an ambulance. Dad shows up. Of course, hours later, like, police are, like, blocking off the streets. It's a fucking madhouse. It's a media circus, but the kids are okay, and they're sitting next to each other, so happy to be reunited. And then Dad comes up, and he falls to his knees, and he's like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, please forgive me.
Aw.
And it was beautiful.
That part got me, too. I was like, as you should.
Mm-hmm.
Meh.
It was great.
I was more sad about the Robin thing.
Yeah, that was upsetting.
That was highly upsetting.
But then the last scene, we come back to school, and Finn is now like fucking treated with respect,
Like a king.
and he comes in with confidence.
Finn
and he's
is
like,
big man on
"Call
campus.
me Finn," and then the movie ends.
Yeah.
Which is the funniest fucking thing.
As it should have been. But I think
Call me my liege.
Remind me again of when we started crying.
Call me by
'cause,
my
like,
name, King.
I started crying, and I think Antonio started like welling up at the same time. Was it at the part like where, like, it was so successful they like he finally got him? Fucking nice, dude. I almost can't remember because it was just so.
I
good.
think Antonio was still residually crying from Robin.
Oh,
That-
yeah,
I think that was the only thing that got
100%.
him.
Honestly, the Robin scene is so much. I was just like, oh my god, there is heart in this movie.
They said this movie was full of heart.
Yeah, and I didn't believe it. And I was like, where's the heart? And then Robin came along, and I was like, oh, there's the heart.
Yes, there's my boy.
end.
That's my boy!
Truly, that's my son.
And it was beautiful. So,
As the loser.
as the loser, do we like it?
oh
We
fuck yes!
fucking
I
love
literally
it.
think
Bro.
if this is not movie of the year, because I know you guys have feelings about everything, everywhere, all at once.
Top 5.
This is like perfection
This is
movie.
definitely-
This is probably one of the best movies I've seen in a long time. Like it had everything.
Ah!
I will go next. I definitely think this is my second favorite movie of the year so far. I will say Everything Everywhere All at Once is definitely my favorite movie of the year, because if you have not seen that movie, you should
What are you
definitely
doing?
seen that movie.
I know, Sky.
It is
you
so
haven't seen it,
incredible.
you're a
It is
fool.
so incredible, but I would say this definitely, in terms of what I like, it's horror, it's got heart, it's got everything. Like everything I love. This is number 2 movie of the year for me.
Yeah, and I had been warning Sky because she had very high expectations, and I'm like, I don't know, I think you want to lower them a bit. But honestly, fucking Matt,
They're
super
fucking
se-
Matt, dude.
Matt and
Probably
super fucking seated, bro.
Surpassed.
This is truly like one of the best horror movies I've seen in a while.
It definitely, I would say, like, I know I said it in the beginning, like a sister film to Sinister, and I definitely would say that it definitely is.
Same vibe.
It's so, same vibe, but like in a different way, but it's so good.
Y'all saw that right there.
I just went backwards because I was yawning.
Look, the horror movie was supposed to stay at the theater, Antonio.
Anyway,
I'm gonna drop it.
okay, cat.
T.
Yeah, it had everything a horror movie needs that I like. A movie that is about trauma, includes a lot of trauma, great acting. It had it all. No particular the jump scares were not cheap. They were good.
They
well
were
done.
not
Yeah.
cheap. I think they were very well done, and like they added to the story for sure. Like,
I was
don't
about to
think
say,
it was-
where were the jump scares? But I screamed
You
at all of
screamed
them.
at all of them. Yes, they were right there. Because the scariest part was Ethan Hawke's
scariest one.
performance,
and
and it was amazing.
And Mama,
My
he was
guy?
good. Even though he
My
was very like low-toned,
And
ominous,
menacing.
scary. Menacing.
What did you think, Antonio? Your last.
I thought it was good.
Great,
It
amazing.
was good. Thanks.
So obviously solid cast, my friends.
Oh my god,
Solid
fucking
cast.
solid cast.
Fucking
Like if I was
solid.
that age,
What is-
I would totally be in love with Robin because like so cute.
Adorbs.
Love that style. And like those kids were so fantastic.
Great
They
actors.
were
Madeline
they
McGraw?
put their fucking pussy
Madeline
into
McGraw,
this.
I would also like to point out, is the older sister of Violet McGraw. It's at the beginning of Doctor Sleep. She's the first kid tooketh. She's also in It Chapter 2.
As
Is she the little one?
She's the little
With
one.
the cheek?
Yeah, with the like
With the-
birthmark. Yeah.
Yikes. Look at that.
I don't even
Pennywise
remember
be
that.
like-
I don't even remember that. I guess I blocked it out.
Well,
Oh, it's so sad. Cause,
it is so
you know,
sad because she's so
so
cute.
small.
She's tiny and she's deformed, so like.
She's
she-
not deformed.
She has a
Antonio.
birthmark.
She's
No,
got
no,
a
no.
birthmark.
She's got a birthmark, yeah.
Fucking
No,
Christ.
it's.
I'm
But
cutting that out.
anyway, so she's related to Madeline McGraw, who was Gwendolyn, who we fucking love. I mean, I would say like kid actors these days.
She's the fucking star
It's
of
literally
kid
hit
actors
or
of the
miss.
last 10 years. I don't remember anybody, but I will remember Madeline McGraw.
I'm gonna remember her forever.
Period.
Gwen.
and
Gwen.
And
her
Hawkcastle.
character.
and James.
Hawkcastle,
Gwenny and
Hawkcastle,
Finney.
James,
And Mason
Hawkcastle.
Thames did a fantastic job.
He was incredible as
Impeccable.
Finney. I think. I don't think anybody else could have done the
what
job.
a fantastic little actor.
Great actors, all of them.
Incredible.
And
Hawkcastle,
James- and James
Ransom.
that
You roll your eyes like you're not horny for James Ransom either.
Yeah, but in private.
Soundtrack score?
Behind closed doors.
Soundtrack score?
Soundtrack score. I would love to get into that.
Oh
I'm
my
so glad you
fucking
brought
God.
this up.
So
I've been
much-
dying
to talk
so
about it.
fucking much. Thank you.
It literally gave me the feelings of Sinister, and Sinister was so specific. This was also very specific.
There's more to this than Sinister. There's more heart. Like honestly, when he's talking to Robin, that shit was I can barely remember the sound, but it was very like
Okay, well you can barely remember the sound, so
enough to the point where I was like, that is definitely making me want to
it's
cry.
different.
It hits different.
But
And there
no,
was
I would
also
say-
like the beginning where, and I knew I wasn't gonna like it when Bruce gets tooketh. It's playing like an upbeat song. Everyone's happy and everything like that, and it's just like quintessential, like late 70s, and then like this is way too happy for this movie. It's gonna turn really dark real quick, and there it was.
Yeah, I would say like the opening credits to the movie, which is probably like right after that scene.
Yeah.
It definitely reminded me of Sinister. It was along those lines, and I was like, man, fuck, this is so good, and it's so eerie. It's very eerie with like an upbeat
Agree.
tone, and like I think the other song I can remember, because there was a couple songs that played through the movie, but the only one I can remember is Fox on the Run, which is when Vance is taken by the police and he's like beating up the kids after he plays pinball. It's a really good soundtrack. I really, honestly, I think I'm gonna go look at the vinyl because I kind of want to buy the vinyl.
Kitzel?
Oh, I have no thoughts.
Oh. I do have thoughts. Love the sounds. I can't remember the soundtrack. I know that there was songs happening, but like all of the sounds happening in the movie were fantastic. Everything that brought you to like, highs and lows was just perfect. Obviously the jump scares got me, so that worked. But I just feel like there was a lot of like just good sound editing. I really can't remember the songs except for the one right at the beginning when it was playing. And now that you're bringing up that one where Vance got taken away, I don't remember that one either. But they were great. I fully enjoyed them. They were just ominous, dude. Everything. The bottles breaking. Everything was just good sounds. Good sounds. Set
sounds
design
all
and
around.
location.
You wanted to talk about this so bad because
costumes.
the 70s looks for you.
Ah!
You kept commenting on
fucking-
it.
Oof.
Look.
You must have been just fucking sliving.
Let me tell you.
Living.
Let me tell you a story about my dad's first house. My dad's first house was on Decatur and, I don't know, near Charleston, Alta, by the Meadows Mall. There's a lot of 70s houses there. So there was, like, wood paneling, a secret room. Like, there was a chimney, like, where you could put fires and shit. There was, like, multiple bedrooms. Like, it was
Did you
so
ever have a
70s.
serial killer house?
I dream about it sometimes. I do. But I love that house so much because of
just
the
gonna blow past
design. I love the design and I think it's so fantastic.
Oh, did you?
What are you wanting to talk about right now? Tell me right
The
now.
fact that you dreamt that this was a serial killer house.
No, I said I dream about that house sometimes.
Yeah, she didn't
Oh.
say anything about a serial killer house.
No, I
You're
was
like
you
a
guys
serial
just put
killer
that-
house, and I'm like,
Did
I
you-
dream about it sometimes.
So
Oh, okay.
the house in Washington that I used to go to every summer had like, I think you guys love it, like a sunken living room.
Mm-hmm.
It had that.
I love a sunken anything.
So like, it was just so 70s, and I just find I love kitsch, and I love 70s wood paneling, brown, green, orange. I love those color schemes. Love the 60s too, but like it was just so great. I love fucking Finn's like little baseball tee. I love Gwen's little like long sleeve but also like corduroy overalls. Like it was so beautiful.